I regret to have to bring you the latest in a new genre of news in the pandemic in America, and that is people who regrettably pass as a result of COVID, who have a documented online history of making light of the illness. And look, I cover this story not to make light of the personal tragedy that this person's family must be going through. I've lost someone in my family, I understand how terrible it is. But to hopefully offer it up as a cautionary tale that will stop other families from needlessly experiencing this same tragedy. So that said, let's talk about this individual, a GOP official from Texas, Scott Apley, whose Facebook page was filled with anti-mask, anti-vaccine content until he was suddenly hospitalized on Sunday. So he died in a local hospital around 3 a.m. Wednesday morning, according to a GoFundMe page set up to help his family with expenses. He was admitted to the facility in Galveston, Texas on Sunday with pneumonia-like symptoms and was hooked up to a ventilator as his condition worsened. His wife was also infected. And you can see a picture of the individual here. He had apparently posted memes questioning the wisdom of getting vaccinated just 5 days before he passed from COVID. He, according to the GoFundMe page, it says he leaves behind his wife, Melissa, who is COVID positive, as well as their infant son, Reed. So far, they've reached $15,000 of their $30,000 goal, and they ask for more to help the family get through a difficult period. So not only is he leaving behind a COVID positive wife, but also has a new child. All of these are not necessary for it to be a tragedy. It's a tragedy no matter what, but seems kind of worse as a result of that, Rayyvana. But I'm sure you've come across other stories like this.
Yeah, there was the, I can't remember his name, the co-founder of Turning Point USA who went to the Trump rally and posted his last tweet was an anti-mask meme, and then he died of COVID like the very next day. But I'll be honest, I've run out of empathy for these people. I feel sorry for his wife, who now has to be a single mother. I feel sorry for his child, who now has to grow up without a father. But at the end of the day, he chose the Republican Party. He chose conspiracy, bigotry, hatred over his family. And the conservatives love to say, play stupid games or play stupid games, win stupid prizes when it comes to things where that absolutely does not apply, like a black person being harassed by the police for the crime of being black. But I think it's pretty apt here. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Choose not to believe in wearing masks, choose not to believe in COVID, choose not to believe in the vaccine. You get COVID, it's what happens. Although I did find his Facebook today, and he also had retweeted a Glenn Greenwald tweet making fun of stopping the spread of misinformation online. And I couldn't not find that absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I haven't. I try not to get into any of that, but yeah, I don't understand the war against people trying to stop misinformation. It seems to me like a core element of journalism is trying to make sure that people get accurate information and don't get filled up with misinformation. But I guess that's controversial now. A lot of things are controversial that don't make sense to me, but anyway, yeah, he had been. It was his political identity, and it's impossible to say whether this one individual, this Texas GOP official, would have taken this up as his political identity if he wasn't surrounded by people in right-wing media and politics doing the same. I know that they all consider themselves not to be sheep. It's weird that they all have the exact same opinions about all of this, but I want to give you a few examples of how this manifested itself. Back in May, he posted an invitation for a mask burning being held at a bar in Cincinnati, commenting, "I wish I lived in that area." A couple weeks earlier, he posted a news article about giveaways and incentives meant to encourage people to get vaccinated, writing, "Disgusting." Apley also railed against so-called vaccine passports, which restrict high-risk activities such as indoor dining to the fully vaccinated. Recently, he suggested that mask mandates in Germany were akin to Nazism. And when former Baltimore Health Commissioner Leana Wen celebrated good news this spring about the Pfizer vaccine's efficacy, a seemingly outraged Apley called her, quote, "an absolute enemy of a free people." I want to give you one more. This was posted just a week before his death. Posted in, I think it's a repost of something else somebody had posted, but it says, "In 6 months, we've gone from the vax ending the pandemic to you can still get COVID even if vaxxed, to you can still pass COVID on to others even if vaxxed, to you can still die of COVID even if vaxxed, to the unvaxxed are killing the vaxxed." Okay, that is not what happened. That's not the process. We always knew that it wasn't perfect protection. Literally everybody knew that. Kids knew that. And yes, the vax could end the pandemic if we don't have an anti-intellectual movement that believes that opening yourself up to a fatal infection is the most patriotic thing that a person can do, and successfully convinces tens of millions of Americans to do that. That was a condition that we should have added, I think. It was irresponsible of us to not point that out. But, and look, again, I believe that empathy is a renewable resource. I try to keep myself stocked up with at least a little bit. I still want these people not to die. It strikes me as weird that people like Charlie Kirk or Ben Shapiro or Tucker Carlson don't give a damn about Apley dying from COVID. Why is it that a bunch of commies care more about the death of a conservative than all these right wingers? Is that weird? I think it's weird. I don't know. Any other thoughts about this?
Yeah, I would just like, and I know this is monumentous of me to ask from conservatives for a tiny bit of consistency. Like, you got to pick a lane. Is COVID not real, or is the vaccine not working against COVID? You can't have both, because the vaccine can't be ineffective against a disease that's not real. So just pick one so that my brain does not feel so broken all the time.
Yeah, and if your actual belief was they lied to us about the vaccine, it won't protect us. Yeah, you're like Rayyvana's pointing out, then you seem to be saying that it's a massive betrayal because of the stakes. You lied to us about something. We don't get mad about being lied to about things that don't matter. We care about things that do matter. So then why do you then not support social distancing, a lockdown, mask, literally anything? If it's such a huge betrayal, I've always wondered that. We talk often about Marjorie Greene's like Fauci lied and people died thing. He told us we didn't need to wear masks early on. Okay, so he was wrong. So you should wear a mask, right? But you don't want to wear a mask? Then what do you care if he lied to you? Like, it's just this weird inconsistency. And this is the movement that prides themselves on lifting up intellectual gladiators armed with blades of logic like Ben Shapiro. But it all just falls apart if you just flick it a little bit.
Well, you can't ask them to wear masks because that's tyranny. And you also can't tell them to get vaccinated because then you're violating their HIPAA rights.
That's true. That's true. I saw someone tweeted, I said I'd die for my country. I didn't say I'd be mildly inconvenienced for it. Again, I don't understand anything about the timeline we're in. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.